should have.
Yeah. We should come up with a prize money or prize something for the winner of this. The winning team.
We do. Well, our viewers don't even know yet, and I don't know if Dawson and Marcus know, but we may have a pop quiz for today's live episode. So welcome everyone who is watching live. We've got 2 of our 4 guests who are going to be with us today. We've got Dawson Miller and Marcus Wallace. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
That sounded so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I was nervous as I logged on, and then I started thinking the show starts at 5. We're going to be live right away, so I'm ready to go, though.
There's no prep time. Oh, and here we've got Nicola. Hello, Nicola.
Hey, how are you?
How you going?
Yeah, good. Sorry I'm a bit late. I just tried to find a room, like a random room that I can just sneak into.
No, that's fine. Nick, you guys probably don't know each other. Maybe we should do a little almost round table, Anthony, with who everyone is.
Well, I saw your questions on here, so we'll all get to know each other first, and then we'll get moving. But yeah, guys, we have our show today. We got special guests, 2 of the 30 teams that are going to be competing in the Elite 15 doubles on Saturday night. Nicola MacBeth and Gabrielle Nikora-Baker
That's
were
right.
the
Hey,
winners
Yes,
of
correct.
Melbourne. And then I'm sure people have heard of Team Raw Dog or Raw Debo. Sorry.
Come on.
Raw Debo.
Don't forget about me.
So there's Marcus Wallace and Dawson Miller, who took 2nd in Houston and also qualified. Both teams ready to compete, and I'm thinking both teams are aiming for the top 5, if not higher.
Well, if we want to get paid out, we better,
accurate.
right?
Well, maybe that's a good place to start. We talked last week a lot about the prize money that was announced. I was like, wow, that's a lot for the first year of the sport, because this is the first year of doubles, and that's as high as the prize money was, I think, for the individuals in Vegas, because it was higher than Leipzig. So what did you guys think when the prize money was announced?
I don't think any of us really race for the prize money, so anything is sort of a bonus. But at the same time, I do think there has been this exponential growth with Hyrox. So I wouldn't have been surprised if they maybe came out with a little bit more, or even paid out to the 15 like they do for the majors, just as a way to cover a little bit of travel cost. But I mean, yeah, like I said, we don't race for the money. We just race for the pride.
Nice.
Yeah, I reckon I sort of echo that as well. It's not the reason we race. Most of us have jobs, we have careers, we have kind of lives outside that. That's kind of the reality of this. So I think any prize money is generous. However, I think we're all aware of the revenue that is coming in with Hyrox. So I think if you did see an increase in that in years to come, I think that would be pretty fair.
Yeah,
I think it's a good start. I mean, Anthony and I were talking last week that everything's increased from, so for the solos, for example, first place increased, 5K this year. So, if they're going to continue doing the Elite 15 doubles, which we hope they do, it's only going to get bigger, right?
Right. And do you think that's going to trickle down into mixed doubles, Elite 15 as well?
Good question. Anthony, you got any intel?
On if it's going to be mixed doubles?
If they'll do Elite 15 mixed doubles.
So the only thing I know is that they're right. They've said before they're trying to really get into the Olympics, and one of the things that is positive for the Olympics is the more medals you give out, the better it is, your shot. So, I mean, the more medals they can give, the more prizes that they have, that's divisions and everything, then the better it is for them in terms of being able to get in.
Yeah, if they got a European location, I reckon they'd be on.
Yeah, definitely.
So why don't we start with Nicola and Gabrielle? What I see Bernice has written some things down here, but tell us about your guys' who you are, where you're from, and Bernice, I don't know if you want to read through their stuff.
Yeah, I wrote a little bio for you both. I mean, I've interviewed Gabs and Nick. Nick and I are actually old friends, believe it or not. We both have matching tattoos. We won't get into that story, but yeah, anyway, that was a drunken night in Santorini, so we won't go there on this live. But so Nick and Gabrielle are the first female duo to have qualified for the Elite 15 doubles from their win in Melbourne, where they did a time of 1 hour and 55 seconds. To be honest, though, they're actually the only female pairs for Melbourne who qualified who are still racing. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of that, but the ladies who came second, Madison and Meg, and then third, Zoe and Taryn, have both had to pull out. So that all of those spots have gone down to roll downs. But Nick and Gabby, I'd love to hear a little bit more, because I know both of you have since then competed in Auckland with a time of 59 minutes and 50 seconds, Brisbane 59.27, and then just recently in Bangkok 57.53. So you've actually broken your PB every time you've raced, which is amazing. What have you kind of done since Melbourne that's really changed and I guess gotten you those PBs? I mean, you're kind of almost 3 minutes faster, or pretty much 3 minutes faster than when you qualified from Melbourne now.
I think a lot of it's just been experience. For our first race, we pretty much decided 24 hours prior we were going to do it, and we didn't really know what we were doing. Didn't know each other that well, weren't super aware of each other's strengths and weaknesses. And then of course when we qualified, it was an amazing experience. It's like, okay, if we can do this and qualify and, you know, smash the APAC record, what could we do if we actually put in work and work together and refined our running, refined our teamwork, refined our stations. And yeah, 5-6 months later, here we are, a bit better.
Are there things, like you've probably already answered the question, but there's things that you've obviously learnt from each race in terms of what works well for you both, what doesn't work? Is that kind of one of the reasons why you've been racing as much as possible?
Yeah, I would say we've learnt a lot about, like, essentially teamwork doesn't necessarily mean 50-50 as well. And we've learnt to really play into those strengths and like what the back end of the race looks like versus the front end of the race, and like where the fatigue sets in for both of us, how our energy systems work, like how we work economically. Like I'm definitely more of a sprinter. Gabs is definitely more economical, more efficient in general. And so like we trying to meet each other with that balance and be the best team that we can possibly be, and really increase our communication during the race and really take control and ownership of the race. So I think all of those things have come together and meant that we've just wanted to level up each time. We just want to be like us against us. So like, let's just keep improving. We've definitely had some interesting races and some hurdles thrown our way, which has meant that we've just had to work really quickly in that moment and come to a decision and move on, draw a line under it, move on with the race. So I think there's been such learnings along the way. I'm really proud of how far we've come with that, and to get that result in Bangkok with all the variables that you can think of, and all the things that you can possibly throw into a race that might affect your performance. I think it was a good outcome, especially a couple of weeks before Worlds.
Oh, definitely, because I mean that time now is ranked 17th in the world, and I should point out, so you girls are currently in 13th seed position with where you qualified in Melbourne. However, with your recent time in Bangkok, that would bump you up to 11th, for example. But the times, I mean, we'll get into the men's in a second as well. Like in terms of the doubles, I feel like the times are just so incredibly close together. Just a few little mistakes here and there can probably really highly affect your time. How important is that communication piece when you're out there in a race?
Oh, it's huge. Can make or break the race for sure.
What about for you boys?
I was gonna say, do you guys see, just because I saw the course, if you look at the times, you can see that they're kind of grouped together by what course you ran on, right? So like on the men's side, the Melbourne times are 12th to 15th. The Houston times are like just above that. And then, you know, Paris and London, and then Miami's the fastest. And so you can kind of see where all the times are on both the men's and women's side. Does that make you think that the seating is right? Or do you think it should be by, you know, the place you finished is all the first placers, all the seconds, all the thirds?
I think the beauty is the seating doesn't really matter at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the walkout order, but besides that, nothing's really going to change. We all qualified. I think it was us. I didn't realize you guys had run so fast recently, and I think that's I know even when we look at like the Australian men's teams, the people who qualified from there, we know they're going to be faster than they qualified at. So, yeah, I don't think it matters.
We're running the same race, right?
Mm.
So like at the end of the day, like even where we placed when we qualified there and our speed time there, like when we go into this race, it's a level playing field.
What's interesting is going from like the elite individual side where only 15 people start, you guys are now going to be in the tunnel with 30 people, so it's twice as big. But the way you qualified, it's actually smaller than your qualifying heats, right? So do you think there's going to be any difference in the amount of people on the course that's going to affect you guys at all? Or is it, do you have any idea about how you're going to search and find your partner while running any of those first couple laps, especially where everybody's going to be grouped?
I think it would pay off a lot if your team averaged over 200 pounds. So
Yeah.
I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah, and it definitely, it's going to be more crowded than the qualifying races just because everybody's going to be so much closer together, but at least they did design the layout. I don't know if they've really...
Did he get cut off for everybody else right as he
but we'll
talked about
be
the
on the
layout?
grid for part of it,
Yeah.
so... Oh, sorry. Well, so they have the grid layout for all of the events where you would run into another team, so it shouldn't be
Right.
in the, at least in the stations like that, but in the running area, there'll be, I think, a lot of passing within the first few stations.
Yeah, you guys are going to be on the live camera, so they have the grid or the dual grid system there for it. So you guys will be able to see, you know, each other when you run, and like have your own lanes, right? Like the same way that the Elite 15 individuals does.
I was going to ask for the women's side, is there ever any, you know, argy-bargy pushing each other like I sometimes notice on the males?
Oh yeah, especially
there
in
is.
Bangkok.
Yeah,
Oh my
Bangkok's
gosh.
wild.
It was
so
like-
congested.
They're like making daisy chains and skipping along like in the
Yeah,
fast lane.
holding hands, arms around each other. It was a
I
lot
was
of fun.
like,
But if you're there to break a record, run
You-
your best race, bit of a challenge.
Do you
But
think
we've
you'll run
come
into
from
that in the
Australia.
Elite 15? Is that the idea? How to everybody just locks arms and runs down? And then
Big angel wings, fluffy costumes. Who knows?
yeah,
It could be anyone.
dancing.
Yeah.
It was a great vibe. I'll
It was
give them
very
that.
fun.
But
Lot of
we were
fun.
there to like,
maybe that's the key. You know, Raw Debo. If you guys are out in front, you guys get in front right away, lock arms, and just block everybody else from going in front of you.
that's a
Take,
new
like, the whole running
tactic.
space.
Play a little
Yeah.
Red
All else
Rover
fails.
like back in the
Yeah.
day.
Red Rover.
For Marcus and Dawson, I mean, we should mention you guys as well. Obviously, second place Houston doubles. That's where you guys qualified with a time of 50 minutes 56 seconds, which I know it doesn't matter. Marcus, you made a great point there, but currently in 11th seed position. However, this is why it really does not matter. You're actually less than a minute behind second seed position. So that's just how tight that male's, you know, the qualifying times are. That's just incredible. Between second and 11th, less than 60 seconds. But for you guys on the male side, is there a bit of kind of push and shove, particularly maybe going into the ski or as the runs, you know, kick off?
Yeah, I feel like the tight corners, anytime there's going to be people slowing down to go around corners or out of station, there's going to be just a lot of congestion, especially at the beginning. So, like Marcus said, hopefully being a little bigger of a body is harder to move in those situations, but it's not anything anybody in the race isn't ready for. It's more just watch your ankles on the corners, I think.
I tried to give Dylan Scott a little bit of the business in Houston, but I feel like that's not really a fair fight, so I sort of laid off him also.
You guys are probably the heaviest team, the biggest team, but I think they might be the tallest team. Dylan and
Close,
Jeremy.
yeah.
We might
Yeah,
have to do
Jeremy, I
some,
think he might be the
measuring.
tallest of all of us.
Yeah.
Their average is the tallest. They got like a 6'5" average with Jeremy and Dylan together.
Wow.
Because I should mention,
we
you
can take them.
guys, I'm just trying to recall that race. There was a little bit of backwards and forwards between yourselves and Dylan Scott and Jeremy McConnell, wasn't there? But you guys came out on top
Yeah, they
13
came into the
seconds
wall
ahead.
balls ahead, and they had a 10-second penalty. We would have probably had them by a few seconds, but that penalty helped us as well.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I think there
you
was
guys
about
crossed.
3 passes between
Yeah.
those 2 teams throughout the race. They got out hot. We passed them after sled push, I think. They passed us after the run into the rower, or was it after farmer's carry? And then we repassed them at wall balls.
Mm-hmm.
That said, once we were securely in the top 3, Dawson did whisper in my ear, "Just take it easy. We have the spot locked up." So we might now have showed what we were capable of.
Would you do
Good.
that, Dawson, in the world champs if your top 3? Just say take it easy, Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, if it's podium or money on the line, if we're riding the line between 3rd and 4th or 5th and 6th, then, just don't want to blow up. Maybe we just, I mean, that's not going to happen. What are we talking about? But, I'd say I could do that just to be right on the
Houston,
edge.
we approached just as a qualifier. I think some people approached it as they want to win it or they want to set a world record. We just knew top 3 and we're in and we're good.
Yeah. You guys just did what you needed to do to get in, and then
save it for the big show.
That's right. So, Bernice, you got some questions listed down here for both teams. Just curious, I guess we'll go both ways. It seems like both of your guys' teams are maybe foregoing any individual stuff and only focusing on the Elite 15 doubles when you get to Worlds. So, has your training changed, or what has your focus been since you qualified?
Maybe start with the girls.
Sure.
Yep.
Training focus-wise, pretty much since we won in December was, just kind of starting from the ground up. We didn't have, I guess, a huge amount of structure when it came to Hyrox training. I was still very new to it. Had only just met Nick, but now we had this one goal that we were focusing on. Pretty much the past 5 to 6 months, it's been, just dialed in structure, looking back at past races, seeing where we've improved, seeing where we need to continue to work on, and just really honing in from that. Lots of running though, like running. Yeah, it's just crazy how fast our times have come.
What would be
and what feels comfortable as well. Like that's kind of for me like quite poignant, is like what feels comfortable now when you're sitting at like 320 and you're like, oh shit. So like it's come on a bit.
Because I should mention, I think Nick, you might have just mentioned it earlier that the two of you weren't even racing together 48 hours before that qualifying race. It was a very last minute decision. Oh yeah, let's sign up. And then here you are about to race in the Elite 15 doubles. Your life's changed a little bit over the last 6 months?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like that week we had just decided to go for a run together. Like I just met Gab at the gym. I was kind of like, oh great, a girl that I can kind of compete against, like in the gym environment. I was like, this is great. So we went for a run that Wednesday and I said, hey, there's Melbourne Hyrox obviously this weekend. What are you doing in it? She said, like, I'm doing mixed doubles. And I said, I'm doing mixed doubles as well. We knew that was on the Sunday. And I was like, listen, there's this thing that's gone out about like the Elite 15 women's pro doubles. Do you want to sign up? And she was kind of like, oh, maybe. And we kind of ummed and ahed and we like back and forth. And then she messaged me about 24 hours later being like, let's do it. So at the time I was like, I'll try and find tickets. So I went online just expecting there to be tickets and there was obviously none. So I had to message around like frantically being like, is there anyone who has pro women's tickets? And I managed to find a set in Brisbane from a girl that was injured, and we transferred the name, and we were literally probably about 14 hours before we were meant to race is when we got confirmed. And then we showed up, and yeah, it was real, like it was a good feeling. Yeah, that was a good day.
Sometimes that can just maybe alleviate a bit of the pressure.
Yeah.
What about for you boys, Dawson and Marcus? Like, how long did you know that you were going to compete together?
That is the exact opposite story of us. I started. I'm pretty sure there was even like a video that came out about the Elite 15 doubles before it was officially announced, and at that point I had already started courting Dawson. So basically, from the very beginning, I think the day of, Houston, they announced it. I think I already had a ticket for Houston. I said I'm not doing individuals, we're doing doubles. So yes, the exact opposite of the ladies.
Yeah, we had about 6 months of time, 5-6 months of time where we knew that this was the focus. We both had individual races before that, just in the fall and the spring. Marcus was able to run at the Elite 15 singles race in Vegas, so that kind of threw a little bit of a wrench in his plan for Houston, but it was at least a good wrench. But yeah, we had been kind of focusing on singles. So Marcus is coached by Anthony, so obviously a lot of volume, where I'm kind of the opposite side of the spectrum. So I wouldn't say my training has changed that much from my singles, more just focusing on the high intensity you need in the station work, just gearing a little bit more towards that in shorter bursts than the kind of long grindy stuff. But I've been pulling Marcus into some speed work on the track, and it's been working. So I can let him talk about that and just how his running has progressed on the speed side. But that's probably the major shift, I'd say, is that Marcus is focusing a little bit more on the speedy running.
Yes, Anthony is my coach, and yes, I went off plan a little bit. I apologize. But my coach was Raw Dog on Sundays, which is usually a sort of a bonus day on Hybrid Engine. We do different varied forms of running, so basically just replace that with some track work with Dawson. I just run on his hips the whole time, and he just tells me the paces. We've been working with that. I mean, so the demands of the race, really the running, same distance, just slightly faster, so try and be ready for that. And then the stations, I sort of like doing the double station work because you don't have to do all the grindy type work. So I replaced a little bit of the grindy work with more just the high intensity. But I mean, you think of like the ergs, you're on them. We end up being on them like a minute 40 on the row, a minute 40 on the ski top. So really, there's such little time on the stations. They're you just got to be able to hit that high intensity and really be able to run hard off it.
Yeah. So I had a question then for you guys. Seeing as you're all now deep into the doubles, do you guys want to, both teams here, do you want to eventually be in the Elite 15 singles? Is that your goal and this is a stepping stone to it? Or are you going to focus as the doubles for the next season, maybe the seasons to come? Anybody?
I think we'll just continue racing a mix of both. I'm definitely never going to be the one who's, I mean, if the system changes, hopefully there's more where you could just sign up for individual races and have them be like meaningful races. If it's something where you got to go around chasing times, I'm never going to do that. I got a couple of young kids at home. Dawson and I both don't race too much compared to other people in the field, but stuff like last chance qualifier, if that was somewhere easy to get to, I'm sure we would both try and pop into something like that.
Yes.
I think love doubles. I've actually never done a solo race, so only ever done doubles, and I just find it really fun. But should probably do a solo one day, so we'll report back once I've done that and see if I die. Unsure. It looks awful.
It really is.
Yeah, I guess like because Nick, you've done both, and then the same with you, Marcus. Do you find it's a completely different race from solo versus doubles?
Yeah, 100%. And like it's not within my goals to do a solo race. Like I did it for the fact that it was something new, and when I found out about Hyrox in 2023, I was like, oh, this looks fun. But I do find that doing the doubles for me is just so much more fun. And like being out there with Gab, I'm like, how good's this? Like doing what you love, like basically with your best friend, like just getting out there and you look around and you're like, you go. Like it's so fun. And like as I said, kind of full circle, like we have lives as well, and like I don't think I want to commit to singles. I do like the doubles game. It doesn't mean that we train any less hard or anything like that. I mean, if anything, I work harder because I know that Gabs is on the line as well. So I just like the team ethic. So I'll stick here.
It's just like a training session on race day, just with thousands of people watching you.
Yeah,
And the cameras, yep.
Yeah, very
Marcus, because you've competed in the Elite 15 in the major in Vegas this year, how different was that compared to then competing to qualify for the Elite 15 doubles for you? Which one do you prefer?
The Elite 15 Vegas, it was definitely a cool experience. I was a pretty deep roll down, so I think I got it like a week before. I was on vacation in Mexico with my family and had to ramp it up real quick. But it was a cool experience. I mean, but even with that, I enjoy the doubles. I enjoy just being able to get in, like I said, like a meaningful race. I like that you could just sign up for it. And I mean, if that Elite 15 race would have been in like Europe or something, I probably wouldn't have gone to it. So it just all worked out for me. I got a little lucky with that this year.
I'm not sure what Matt Mason means in the comments here, but he said, "You don't want that smoke, Debo."
I will not reply to anything he says. You can just maybe try and block him quick.
There you go, Matt Mason. We've been told we need to block you.
How about you, Dawson? Are you ever gonna try to do individual, or only if it comes up?
Yeah, so I just with the qualifying system and just my schedule this year, I knew I was gonna miss Chicago and a few other opportunities like racing close to me. So it just really wasn't. I couldn't justify spending money to travel to someplace for a potential fast time. So yeah, I mean, in the future, like I said, how the qualifying system works next year, and once that's announced, that'll really be able to give me some direction on what my plan will be. But I plan, at least I've signed up for Toronto already, just because that's the first available race after Worlds. And since Marcus and I didn't sign up to run at Worlds, we're kind of missing out for another qualifying time. So kind of behind, the 8 ball on that right now. So I mean, I'll run singles races, and if I put myself in an opportunity to where I can have 2 fast times to get in, I'll pursue that. But kind of just the barrier of least resistance. If we can just show up and run another race for doubles, and Marcus and I can just do one race and qualify, that's what we'll do. But really just kind of seeing the opportunities that are open at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't race much too, but that said, on the same course at the same time this year, he has only lost to one man, so he had a pretty good individual season.
Nice. And who was that man?
That was me.
Nice
well, Bernice,
plug for
did you?
yourself.
Yeah. Bernice, did you want to ask them anything else, or did you want to move on to our game show? Because I figure what we can do is.
Yeah. Oh, one more question, just for the ladies, actually,
Yeah.
because I know both Gabby and Nick have been asked to race in the relay. Have you thought about? I know the relay. Look, realistically, you're going to be racing for what, maybe 12, maybe 14 minutes tops. But have you thought about your recovery from the Friday night to the Saturday?
You guys are racing in what country relay?
Not Australia.
Scotland and New Zealand.
Yeah. Recovery, haven't really thought too much about it, but just with how intense training always is, just doing back-to-back days, I feel like we'll be fine.
Yeah,
And
I think
it'll
we'll be fine.
Flush. Just flush that
Yeah,
line.
we arrived like with enough time to recover from like the flight and the time difference, etc. Because I'm in New Zealand right now for work, and then Gabs is in Australia, so we'll be fine. We've done worse.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up a question that I have then. Dawson and Debo, you guys are, what, an hour and a half away from Chicago, so you guys will show up anytime. But Gabby and Nick, when are you flying there? What's your schedule like that?
I leave on Saturday at Aussie time and then arrive in Chicago still Saturday, which is a bit confusing after traveling for 25 hours. And then, race on the Friday for the relay. So lots of downtime.
Yeah.
And
What
I
about you,
arrive
Nick?
on
When do you
the
go?
Monday. I leave Monday, arrive Monday
Okay.
from New Zealand. Yep.
And we get to hop on a 1-hour train and come in on Thursday.
What a treat.
I'll trade you.
Yeah.
It will be will you guys find it interesting just to assess, I guess, after the entire championships, just how jet lag, if you can see any kind of correlation there in terms of results, whether that does affect people's performances?
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially off the back of like Bangkok, like that's not even a time difference if you really look at it. But
yeah, it's more just travel.
Yeah, like the fatigue accumulation and just the dehydration factor and like all those variables. Like we've just got to be really careful.
I guess the one leg up that all four of you have, other than I know the ladies are racing in the relay, but because you're not racing in the solo, you do have that extra bit of rest compared to, I know Anthony and I have got written down somewhere, would it be maybe, I'm just ballpark, Anthony, maybe about half of the Elite 15 field on both sides are racing in the doubles. So there is quite a lot who are then having to back it up 2 nights later.
I think there was 10 of the men and 10 of the women that were racing both. I think there's 9 women now and 10 of the men that are racing both. And then some of those, like 7 or 8 of those, each of those are also racing the relay.
Yeah.
Wow. Be interesting how they pull up.
Yeah. One last question. I'm trying to remember which podcast I listened to that this was discussed on. Anyway, I'll bring it up anyway. But just in terms of, we all know Meg Jacoby's obviously not racing, which means her and Camilla are out of the doubles. Do you guys agree in terms of that it's fair to say that they shouldn't be, Camilla shouldn't be allowed to have a replacement? I know in the age group category you can do that at the moment, but in the Elite 15 doubles, do you guys agree that that's a fair go?
I do agree. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, just the way that the qualifying system was set up.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no way that you can kind of justify if they set from the beginning those rules were in place. It's harsh, but that's what was set up.
I think it's I do feel bad for Camilla about it, but I think it's in place there because you don't want, what if you had 5 different races? What if Hunter paired with somebody at each one or something, qualified 5 teams, and then only went with the one he wanted, and then 4 other teams had to have a replacement? I think it's to avoid a situation like that where you either race with the person you qualified with or the team rolls down.
And and they were clear on that from the very beginning, and they also even said, like, if I raced with Dawson and I qualified with Dawson and I wanted to race with a different partner in the next one, I would have to give up that spot with Dawson before racing with that partner. So yes, and I think clear on that from the beginning.
The most important part there is they said it before it happened. They were clear about, like, you can't do that, and so it's just sticking with it. And I wish Camilla could race it, but there is a roll down now. So
I agree. And I was going to say they've raced their way in, right? Which is how you've got to do it in the solos as well as the doubles. You've raced your way in, so I don't think it's fair either to offer a replacement.
The thing that I'd be concerned about is, say somebody gets injured in their solo race and they're not able to compete. In the past, they have had this issue with individuals where you have the Elite 15 without 15 athletes. And for the individuals, they've brought on, the 2 extra people who are traveling to Worlds just for that. I don't know if we have that for doubles. So if a team had to pull out due to injury, the rule would be that it would be the team from that race that they qualified in. But can they bring one person from every single race that they qualified in just in case that happens? I'm not sure if they have that kind of in place. So I guess my question is, will there actually be 30 teams that toe the line?
Well, because I know they've struggled with Melbourne. As I said before, 2nd and 3rd place had to pull out. 4th place couldn't come. 5th place has confirmed, so that's now Libby Carr and Emily Amris. My understanding was they were only rolling down to 5, but for Melbourne they've actually rolled down to 7th, is what I've heard anyway. So I think you're right, Dawson. Like, are they going to be able to do that? Probably not. Have substitutes ready to go, particularly from all the way from Australia. Like, would you really go travel not expecting to race.
Right. So, for example, just as on the men's side, a quick example is Tony and Kiernan are 4th place at two of the qualifiers, right? So realistically, one of 6 teams drops, they're the ones that would be in. Are they even going to be there? Both of them together. And then are they going to be there? And then are they going to race if they get called up? Because what if somebody drops right before it happens and say Tony and Kieran are there? What if they race earlier in the day in the age group and then they're like, all right, let's go again?
I think on the men's side, they should give it to Noah Olsen and Chandler Smith if there are any further drop downs needed.
What was your question, Nick?
Do you reckon, and this is just something that came up like when I was here with the guys that have also qualified for Worlds, do you think that like if you're an elite 15 individual that you should be allowed to race doubles as well? Because we're saying there's obviously a lot of overlap. So there's like 10 athletes in the individuals that are in doubles. Like, what are your views on that?
I think they should definitely be allowed. I wouldn't feel like it was a really championship if you're limiting the field.
The best people should race no matter what. If you can qualify, you're in.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just you put yourself at risk, right?
Yeah. I mean,
and I feel like that's the athlete's responsibility, right? With their, they should know their volume.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
So, going on to this, it's going to be out of order on our sheet here, but let's go down to this game show. We got to figure out a way for you guys to like tap in. Okay, we'll figure out something here for who can answer the questions first. We basically have 20 questions in 3 different categories. It's modern history, the race is here, and name that athlete. So there's different questions. We're going to go over this Hyrox trivia game show. And then you guys, after that, I don't want to keep you too long because this show usually goes for a while. If you guys want to leave or need to leave after the show, you're free to go. Or if you want to stick on and give opinions, we're going to go over some of the age group races at Worlds, as well as whether or not New York and the races that happened this weekend, what happened in them, and opinions on those. So we'll do that after this game show. But first, let's get into it.
Should we do
game show time?
Male versus females?
We can do all individuals. We can do teams, but we just got to figure out a way. Like you.
Yeah. What's your call out?
Yeah.
Marcus, I feel like you'd be good at coming up with one for the boys. What's your answer? Like your caca?
I don't know. Now you put me on the spot. I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
I will do whatever the host says to do.
Maybe it's just raw dog. Yell out raw dog.
No. You don't want to be yelling raw dog on this show.
Yeah, that's
Raw
true.
Devo.
We might get kicked off YouTube. Well, ladies, do you have what do you call it? A buzzer sound?
Gabby, do you have a buzzer sound?
I do not.
Just scream.
High-pitched squeal. That'd be awful.
Okay.
Okay, let's say we'll say what country are we gonna represent? Should we say Scotland or New Zealand or Australia?
Surely you can be Australian for this one. You can be pseudo Aussies.
All right, too easy.
All right, we'll go Aussie for you guys.
Aussie.
Maybe we should do it like this, where like, do you guys have a piece of paper that can just hold up the answers, and then we'll say who's right?
Well, that might be better. Okay,
And
I like
then-
that better. Maybe that'll be cleaner for those listening as a podcast version.
Yeah.
We
And
apologize
then,
for the caca sounds that were just made.
Yeah, and there are certain questions with bonus points. So that way, like, if you get the bonus points, you're going on.
Gotcha.
So some of them can be worth multiple. So I got a sheet tally here that I'm gonna.
All right, you got the tally sorted, Anthony.
So this is not for speed anymore. Now we're just going to get
Not
it
for
direct.
speed.
We'll
give
at the
you.
same time.
I got a timer too, so I'll do 6 seconds after I finish the question. You have to hold your answer up.
6 seconds. All right.
We'll make it 10
That's quick.
Seconds.
Let's make it 10. Let's
make it 10
to
seconds in case they're slow riders. And
How
if
many
it's
questions are there going to be total?
there's 20.
There's 20.
Might run out of space. Okay.
If it's illegible, it's wrong. I'm not going to
What
say
is that?
misspelled because there might be some misspellings with the names.
I think Nick's dropped off. I'll just give her a minute and see if she.
Yeah, we'll give her a couple
No,
seconds.
no,
here.
let's start.
It's very easy to start, and Bernice, you and I can just go back and forth reading them.
Perfect.
But very easy. First question. I expect everybody will get it right. Only one partner has to get it right, and the team gets the points. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So
And
the
as
very
Anthony
first-
said, we've got modern history, so that's a bit of historic Hyrox history. The race is here, so more race-specific questions, and then name that athlete. Maybe you can tell I'm a Friends fan if anyone gets that, but anyway.
we don't have a laugh track to add to that. All right. First question, super simple. What year was the first Hyrox event?
Is it backwards?
Well, I see,
Can you
yeah,
see mine?
I
Yep.
see them. Yep. All right. Points for both people. The answer is 2017. That is correct.
Shit, yeah.
All
Are
right,
we allowed to
Bernice.
swear on this podcast? I've heard a few. I'm just. It could be
I
think
minus
so.
points.
If
Th-
we get
We're
kicked
not
off,
monetized by YouTube, so I don't think it matters.
if we get kicked off, we'll blame you, Marcus. Okay, next question. What country was the first Hyrox?
Bonus points for the city.
I think it's wrong.
That's
Marcus, just move your paper back a little.
Marcus, what does yours say?
How do I do it so it is not backwards?
Is your screen on mirror? I'll see if I can change it.
Your camera's on mirror. So
What's
Yeah, I don't know how to
what's your
change that.
answer, Marcus?
Germany and Cologne. Cologne was a random
Okay,
guess.
yeah. And Gabs?
I just wrote Germany. I don't know the city, but I think mine's backwards.
So you guys all got the country correct. So both teams get the country point. But I didn't see the
Everyone
right
got-
city. Bernice, are you sure that's the right city?
That's what I looked up. That's
Okay.
on
What is it?
That's on Hyrox website, Hamburg.
Oh,
Oh,
That sounds like could be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the HQ's at. So,
cool.
Yeah.
all right. In what year did Hyrox launch in the USA? And bonus point for the city.
It's right. It's the right answer. You just can't see it. Okay, Dawson is wrong, but I'm right. So I don't know how we
What
scored
did yours
then.
say?
No, I said
You'll
just
say-
one team member has to get it right. That's all.
2019 Miami.
That is correct. And I did not
Damn
see
it.
the correct answer from the women's team. So the boys get 2 points for that.
I feel that question probably clearly was going to be directed towards USA athletes.
So
I
here's a
agree.
different one.
I agree, Bonnie.
We'll only take 1 point for that. Only give us one.
Well,
That's
okay,
very,
sure,
yeah,
because the
very
next all right,
chivalrous.
we won't do the bonus point because there is another question similar that we won't do the bonus points for. In what year did
We should do an
Hyrox?
Australian
Oh,
one.
Bernice.
Oh, yep. In what year did Hyrox launch in the UK?
Oh no. Gabby?
if I don't know it.
I feel like it was. I feel like it was somewhere really random, like Manchester.
Dawson, 20.
Dawson's definitely wrong.
You can't change your answer, Dawson.
I
I
might
saw
be wrong.
Marcus's.
What's yours say, Marcus?
Marcus said 2021.
Okay.
But I think it might be 22.
2 seconds. Any guess from the women?
Yeah.
2019, yep.
So the correct answer was 2021.
Yes!
So the men get a point. Sitting at 4-2.
Well done.
All right.
This next one's for the ladies, I reckon.
The next
Go
one you
Anthony.
guys can get. You guys will get that one. This is the last, or nope, sorry. There's 3 more modern history questions. In what year did Hyrox launch in Australia?
Bonus point for the city.
Okay, actual bonus point this time.
2023 Melbourne.
Boys, don't you copy that answer.
Well, I had 2023. I didn't know the city.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, 2023 is correct, but Bernice shows a different city. So is that right?
It was actually.
No.
I'm just gonna double check that I'm right, but yeah, it was actually Sydney.
I didn't write the
Melbourne.
answer. These aren't my questions. I didn't write these answers. I'm sure Bernice has them right.
I only
no
said
way.
Melbourne because someone blurted it out.
Sydney was July, Melbourne was August.
Sorry.
Oh,
So it was Sydney. All right.
But you got the year right.
I never heard of it.
yeah, I thought Melbourne was first.
Yeah, same.
All right.
I think it's
Showgirl?
because nowadays Melbourne goes. Oh no, Melbourne's now December, isn't it? Anyway, the
Yeah.
next question.
Okay, go ahead, Bernice.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a tough one because I guess. What do you think, Anthony? I guess it's how you see it.
Just go
but
with
anyway.
the first part. Just go with the first
Yeah.
part of it, and the B answer, or the very last part of the answer. We'll go
Yeah.
over the cities after.
Okay. What number world championships will this be for Hyrox?
Do. I don't know the music.
We need some music. Maybe I
Yeah,
can
right?
find a little track.
We need like one of those soundboards that has the special
Oh.
things that you can.
I've found the tracks. I'll do some.
So Nick
What's that,
guesses 8. Dawson guesses 8. Debo guesses 8.
8.
8. So the correct answer is this is number 7.
Ugh.
Oh,
It's been in Oberhausen in 2019, Hamburg 2020, Leipzig 2021, Vegas 2022, Manchester 2023, Nice 2024, and Chicago 2025.
What happened
that-
in 2018?
Yeah,
They didn't have a world championship
No
until
world champs.
2019.
so it's the 8th
Ah.
year. So, okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
And just as a little bonus, does anybody have any guesses where it might be next year?
Not that we know the answer.
Australia
to
or Singapore?
It is definitely going to the Middle East.
that. I would agree with that, Marcus. I've tipped Abu Dhabi
Really?
or Dubai.
And the prize money is
maybe.
going to be
More than Dubai.
huge.
Tax free.
That's free.
Tax free, nice. All right, next question. Since nobody got that one right,
Oh.
who is the youngest female athlete to have competed at the World Championships Elite Division? And I'll add this: it can be to have or will have. Where'd the drum roll come from? Who did that?
Yeah, who did that?
Just want to play around with some sound effects.
Nice.
It was a bit loud though.
Yeah.
that works.
Any guesses? Nick, I couldn't see yours.
I put Miriam.
Miriam Van. Yep.
Ugh.
What's yours,
Is
Nick?
Miriam right?
Joanna.
What is-
Joanna,
Oh,
because she's
So-
22 or 21
the-
or 22.
Correct answer is Miriam Von Rohr in 2022, Las Vegas.
Let's go.
Finished 3rd place overall. She
Wow.
was 20 years old, 7,381 days old. I had to do the math here because competing this year, Emily Dahman will be 7,490 days old. So Miriam was 109 days younger than Emily will be when they compete at the Elite 15.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, yeah.
That's a deep cut.
All right, the next segment. Now this is all about the actual race. Done with modern history.
All right, first question. How many kilometers of running is there in a Hyrox race?
I'm like, is this a trick question?
answers, please.
8.7 plus the distance within the stations.
8.7.
What'd you say, Marcus? 8?
I said 8. I figured Dawson would say 8.7. I wanted to cover all bases.
Okay. What does that say? 8?
Course dependent.
Says course dependent.
8 plus rock zone. So 8.
Some people say it's 8.7 plus or minus 10 meters, but I don't believe that. So
Well, that's what it
Well,
wheels
that-
out to.
That is meant to be the correct answer.
8.7.
8.7
Plus or minus 10 meters.
Are we wheeling in straight lines or curved lines? It all depends.
I don't know. They called it the racing line.
they've also mismeasured burpees before too, so I think they might be able to mismeasure 8.7 kilometers.
Maybe. I'm going to give you guys both a minute here. If you want to keep reading it, Bernice, I got to open my door here for a sec.
Yeah, it's all right. All right, next question. What weight is the sled push in the women's pro?
In kilograms or pounds?
Or kilograms preferably, but I can do the quick math on Google if needed. $150.
Did you say pull or push?
The push.
Oh.
155 for Dawson. 150. Is it 3?
3.
3, yep. Gabs?
I wrote 152.
Gabby is correct.
Yeah, that's
Dang.
It is
I wrote
152.
and I crossed out. I think it's 152.
Yeah, I have 152 and 153, and I was like, I'll go 153.
Like it's where it's a random number. It's not equal.
I'll make a note of 1 for the ladies on Anthony's tally sheet. Third question. What weight is the sled pull in the men's open? Answers, please.
Men's open, yeah.
130. Yep, men's open. Yep. 102. Yep.
103.
103. Yep. The ladies
Alright.
are correct. Gabby,
The ladies
you know
got it
your
right.
weights.
Did they get 2 right in a row there?
They did get 2
Yeah.
right in a row.
Did the guys get any points?
0 for those 2 questions.
Okay, well now it's 6-6.
I had
Ooh,
3
the
numbers
girls-
correct. They were just in the wrong order. So
All right.
All right, you go with any question number 4 for the races here.
Okay. Currently, how many wall ball reps must an athlete complete in the women's open? And I'll give you a bonus point if you can write how heavy the wall ball is.
In the women's open,
Women's open.
like currently, that's changed,
Currently.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
104 kilograms. 100. What does yours say?
4
Can't read that.
kilograms.
4 kilograms. That both are correct.
100.
Both correct.
Great.
Sitting at 8-8. All right, the last one for the race questions.
What weight are the kettlebells in mixed doubles? $24 kilos, yep. 24.
I put 53 pounds. I don't know what they are in kilos.
I put
24
24
kilos.
kilos. We got
No.
it covered.
Yep.
I think both teams have got that one covered. Both correct.
All right. So 9-9. All right, now we're going to go on to the name that athlete section. So here you're just going to name an athlete. I'm going to list their accolades that their resume, and you guys are going to tell me, write their name down, whoever it is, okay? We'll see how well you know past, present, and, well, not future. Past and present athletes. All right. So the first athlete, I'm gonna reference something. It's called victory points. So first off, championships means that not the majors, but like anything that was a North American or U.S. championship, European championship, or a world championship contributes to the championship title. And then if you placed first, second, or third at those, you got 5 points for first, 3 points for second, and 1 point for third. And if you didn't podium, it was 0 points. And then I have what's called victory points. So how many they were able to get, and then how many they got, and then how many total they could have gotten based on the number of races they ran. So the first athlete, I blackened out the names here, so Bernice can't see them either. So she doesn't even know. First athlete, they have 3 championship wins, 1 world title, 2 European championships. They have 2 third place championships. They've ran in 8 total championship races, and they have 11 out of 24 possible victory points. Who is it?
Ronkovic.
You can't. I feel like I put mine up too early, but I don't know if that's right.
You got too excited.
Any guess
maybe
for the women?
Maybe wait till we say answers up.
Marcus, I'm blanking on the older guy who was he got third at the championship.
Ready?
2
Anybody
years
else?
ago. Oh God.
No?
I have no idea.
No guess? Okay. So this was a baited question. Debo took the bait. It sounds like Ronkovic. It's actually Tobias Lotman.
That's who I was gonna say. No. I couldn't remember his name.
Never
He
heard of
got
him.
third 2 years ago. I knew who he was. I just couldn't remember his name.
He in Manchester, he beat Kent on the sprint from the wall balls to the finish line. Ended up in third.
And he won in Leipzig.
And he won in Leipzig. That's right. So
Took the bait.
That was the baited answer. So that was the rest of these might be a little easier. We'll see. Do you want to read the next one, Bernice, or you want me to?
I feel like I might know who this one is. So this athlete has 9 championship wins, 3 worlds, 4 US titles, and 2 European titles. 1 championship second place, 1 championship third place from the US titles, 12 total championship races, so a 75% win percentage. Since 2022, they've had a 71% championship win percentage, and their championship points percentage is 32 of 38 victory points of all time. Actually, now I don't know if it is the athlete I was thinking.
Do we know if it's male or female?
Okay, it is. I can see the little blackout.
The resume was too long. I forgot what it is now.
Yeah, I know. Legit.
We can safely say a very successful athlete. All right.
Any guesses?
Lone Weeks. Lily's
mom. That's the best answer. That is correct.
That is
that
correct.
was Lauren.
All right.
You haven't mentioned her on the show yet. I figured we have to at some point.
She's always going to be one of the answers if I'm asking a trivia question. All right, the next athlete. They have 4 championship wins, 3 world titles, 1 US, 1 championship second place, 7 total championship races they've ran in, and their victory points percentage is 67%. The men guess Hunter. Any guess from the women? No? Maybe?
I cut out. All I heard was 67%.
Oh.
So this athlete had 4 championship wins, 3 worlds, and 1 US, and then 1 championship in second place within the US, and 2 no podium championships at worlds.
Oh. Gabs, have you got one?
I do not.
So the guys did get it right.
No,
That's
go guys.
Hunter. Yep. Let's see. Do you want to go on to the next one, Bernice?
Yeah, sure. So this athlete has one championship win for the European titles, 3 championship second place, Worlds and European title, 7 no podium championships. So has competed in a lot of championships, but not podiumed. 11 total championship races with a 9% win percentage. Championship points percentage are 9 of 33 victory points of all time.
Real guess.
Does that say
Pretty good
Kate
guess.
Davey? Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
guess.
That is a good guess.
It's not right.
Unfortunately,
Because she's a
correct.
real, like, underdog.
Let's see. What does yours say? Linda
Linda
Meyer.
Meyer.
That's very close.
That's a good guess.
So
Not correct.
Linda has taken second at
correct.
Worlds once. This athlete has taken second at Worlds twice. And
Oh.
Debo with the right answer.
Oh, what did you say?
You gave it away when he said Linda and you said very close.
Oh,
German.
But hey, I took it all in.
Given the extra hints, yes, Viola Oberlander.
Oh,
All right. Next athlete. This athlete has one championship win. It is a world championship. They've raced in 6 championship races, and they have a 3 of 18 victory points all time.
they only
Yeah.
won world champs once.
They won
Yeah.
world champs one time.
Oh, I don't know.
but
if she won
have competed in
once.
6 championship
They've
races.
competed in 6 championships and won worlds once.
Did you say he?
I said they.
Oh, okay.
Debo, sorry. What did you guess, Marcus? I saw you hold
Jacoby.
something up, and I was
Meg Jacoby.
That's
Dawson?
what I wrote.
okay. Dawson has it correct. It is Chris Verglosky.
Let's go. I got the deep cuts. I can't get the obvious ones.
All right, next one. You want to go, Bernice?
Sure. So this athlete also has one championship win, 3 championships in second place, 2 championships in third place. So a total of 6 championship races with a 17% win percentage. And obviously championships aren't just world championships. That could be European or North American titles. But this athlete has won worlds once.
Any guesses? See if Dawson, he's gotten a couple right so far. Ronk Daddy.
Daddy.
I guess the same. I hope we're right.
Do the ladies have a guess?
Yeah, I don't know what his name is. What's his name? Alex Rod.
You're
Ronk
talking about
Daddy.
Ronk Daddy. So that is incorrect.
Ugh.
Okay, that's
This
what I was
athlete,
writing.
this athlete was Meg Jacoby.
Oh, I should have just used that answer.
There's too many women. I thought we needed a guy.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 more, so maybe you'll get your wish here. All right, so this athlete has 3 championship wins, 2 European, 1 world, 3 championship second places, 2 championship third places. Only 1 time have they not finished on the podium at a championship race. They've ran 9 total, and they have 17 of 27 victory points. Ronk Daddy
Daddy
time 2.
Just keep
the
using
women
the
have-
answer.
What's that?
Just keep using the same answer.
Yeah.
Right.
It's bound to be on there at some point, right?
Exactly.
You guys have a guess?
So,
No.
so this athlete is Alexander Ronkovic.
Oh, for
finally.
the love of God.
So Bernice, do you want to go on, or I could just do the next one?
Yeah, you go
All
for
right.
it.
All right. This might be another deep cut one, Dawson, so we'll see what you got here. This person has one championship win. They have one championship win in the North American Championships. They have one championship second place at the European Championships. They've raced in 4 championship races. And they have 5 of 12 all-time victory points. They have a 25% win percentage. Any guesses? What do we got there? What does that say? Michael Sandbach, Ryan Kent. Not bad, not bad. The correct answer on this one is Michaela Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that
Oh,
one
so
was tough.
close. Hold on. Michaela, not Michael.
There you go.
It always throws me off when you say
Same.
North American champ and then we're thinking European winning North American championship.
Yep. That was like the whole thing back then, right? Everybody was like, how can they be a European champion? And then the last one should be easy. Let's see if you can get it with the hints here. 1 European Championship title. 1 World Championship 3rd place.
2 CrossFit Open Women's overall champions. And was a 2025 CrossFit Games qualifier. I still would have found this one hard.
They've taken 3rd at Worlds. They've won the European Championships. They won the CrossFit Open twice. And they've qualified for the CrossFit Games. So the guys' answers are Miran von Rohr.
Unsure.
Do you say women's CrossFit Games?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
Yes.
It must be Tia Claire, right?
Vivian Tafudo is the guess. So the correct answer is Miran von Rohr. So the guys got a point there.
Nice.
We went in tied to the name that athlete. We come out with the men scoring 15 points and the women scoring 9.
We are not good on our athletes.
That's hopefully just going to be our placing.
It reflects our personalities, I think. We sign up for races like 6 months ahead of time, come prepared. They just sort of show up and do
Just turn
whatever.
up and wing it.
Yeah. We're just learning what Hyrox is. Just a
Yeah.
couple of hybrid rock stars.
Yeah.
There you go.
What is Alexa's
So-
name?
You guys, if you want, that was our doubles thing. Unless Bernice, you have any more questions for him, and we'll go on
No,
to
thanks so much.
discussing what happened this past weekend and what's coming up. Otherwise, just give me 1 second.
Oh, kid duties. No, thanks guys. Thanks for joining us. I hope that was a little bit of fun.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having us
just
on.
highlights how little I know.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
I don't want to be
We'll have
on when you talk about sleds in New York, so I might say something controversial, so I should definitely get off.
We'll take a
Potentially
nice
then.
congratulatory handshake before the race on Saturday from you guys from taking
All right.
taking the W today.
We'll at least give you that. No, but
See
good
ya
luck
in
in all
Chicago.
seriousness. Good luck on the Saturday night. Looking forward to watching.
Yeah.
Raw Devo
Cool.
out.
All right. So yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, girls.
Thanks. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, that was a
All
bit of fun,
right.
Anthony.
Yeah, I had fun. I like asking questions. I like trivia time. Did you see any of the results from this past weekend in New York?
I
Or
did. I
in
did. I mean,
Cardiff or
I saw a lot of commentary, if I'm being honest, about New York in particular that I'm sure we might quickly discuss before we kind of wrap things up. But obviously, I saw in New York, Dylan Scott did an incredible time of 53:27 for the men's side. But I do want to ask you, Anthony. I mean, what's your thoughts? There's a lot of talk around how quick these sleds were. And I should clarify something that Matt Locke actually clarified sorry, was it Matt Locke? No, it was Mo who did clarify this. That turf is not the new turf being used at Worlds. So we really need to clarify that. The first time that new turf is being used is going to be at Chicago. I don't think they've really come out with any reasoning, have they, in terms of why the sleds were so quick in New York? But that is, I think everyone's thinking that's the new turf, and it's not the new turf, is what Mo has said.
Right. So first, yeah, we'll just get that out of the way. That no, that was not the new turf. That is just what was there in Chicago last year. It's just generic turf, not the turf that's going to be in Chicago. However, the new turf that is going to be in Chicago was in the warm-up area of New York, and people got to use it there. So that's going to be different. As far as the speed of the sleds, I'm sorry.
No, you go for it. I'll read out the results. So the results for New York, obviously we had Dylan Scott. He won with a time of 53:27, followed by Clement Pord Canard, and then Evan Galloway, a time of 57:44, and then Rylan Shadeg, a time of 57:45. So they had 11 men go sub 60, which, I don't know. I'm just looking at your little stat there, Anthony, with 11 of the males going sub 60. I mean, that kind of says there was maybe something going on. The other thing I heard was that the power went out. Not that apparently affected timing results, but I did hear that the power went out in New York because they obviously had torrential weather. They had to bring half the course inside.
Yeah. So they that 11 men go sub 60. Oh, sorry. We'll just, why don't you read the results for the other ones and we'll come back to the sled stuff.
Yeah, cool. So results for the women, we had Alandra Greenlee finish in 63 minutes and 50 seconds, and then followed by McKinley Kiefer, 66:46, Jessica Effort, 68:49. And then we've kind of got down here just a few to note within the doubles, in the pro doubles, Jake Williamson and Jake Dearden, who are both on Team England for the relay. They raced a pro doubles race with a time of 50 minutes and 6 seconds. So yeah, look, some really good times there from New York. But I have seen a lot of the commentary just around, again, how quick those sleds are. Again, Anthony, I haven't really looked into, what the reasoning why is. They're saying that those sleds were quick, but I saw quite a funny post on, was it Hyrox Daily or maybe UKHXR, that it was something like 30, I can't remember how many, but there was a lot of men who went like sub 3 minutes for the sled push or pull, something that was just, has never happened in a race. So found that kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so usually you'll see the sled push and pull, and we don't know exactly what it entails, right? Like everybody's different. Everybody could be having a good day going through. So you see, if you go look at the splits for Dylan, for example, he had about a 3 minute and 4 second sled pull and a minute 59 sled push. So he was like 5:03, I think. Rylan was like a 5 minute, almost flat. So they like pretty quick, and usually you expect to see those around 6 minutes for the pros, maybe 6 or 7. But it's not something unheard of either, because even if you just go back and look at Chicago earlier this year, Rich Ryan did a 4:51 on his sled push and pull together. So it's not an unheard of time. It was different, it was on turf and not the normal carpet. They were out there wetting it down, I heard, like that they were out there spraying it with hoses so that it could slide at different times of day. But like you said, it wasn't the turf that's going to be in Chicago. That was in the warm-up area. And then the turf that was out there was just the same turf that they've had there last year. And it was variable, you know, sometimes there could have been sun on it, sometimes maybe not sun. If they're wetting it and sliding it, different times of different lanes probably varied. But it looked like it was quick. It was a good course. And but I heard it was also crowded, so they had to deal with running around crowds and stuff. No matter what you want to say about the course, somebody still had to go out there and run that time. So Dylan still had to go out there and put that time down.
Yeah, I wanted to make the same
impressive.
point actually, because there was so much commentary after Berlin, I remember. And I just want to make the point of like, we shouldn't be disregarding these times from these so-called fast courses. Like, they still went out and did that time. So we shouldn't be saying it's a fast course, it shouldn't be counted. Like, no, do you know what? At the end of the day, these athletes still have to race their way in at Worlds. Like, they're still going to have to go and back that time up. So does it really matter? People get so rolled up about these fast courses. It doesn't matter.
Well, I think
in the grand scheme of things.
I think it's so impressive too that, you know, it wasn't like there was nobody else there and Dylan ran by himself or something. He was in a battle back and forth. Basically, he like got a little bit of a lead, I think, at the burpees, and then stayed 20 to 30 seconds ahead of Ryland, but ended up winning by over 4 minutes ahead of another Elite 15 athlete that he's going to compete against Worlds. That is so impressive that Dylan was able to do that and then beat the field by almost 4 minutes, right? So no matter what, these guys still had to go out there and do it. And whether the course was fast or not, even 11 guys going sub 60, there's been courses in Europe that have seen this. Like, we just saw Cardiff went and there were 7 men that went sub 60. Like, it's not, it's a lot, but it's not completely unheard of. So
absolutely.
No matter what, like, I'm sure, I think Berlin had more than 11 men go sub 60. It's whether it's course dependent or not, it's they still had to put that effort in and run that time. And looking at it, the women's times aren't like the same. So is it just the men's times only got it, or is it, you know, what happened there? I think no matter what, the 53:27 is the third fastest time ever done in a Hyrox, and it's extremely impressive.
Definitely. Exactly. And I think we should credit all the athletes. I agree. I know there's like so much talk around like the qualifying system. Is it going to be the same next year? You know, they haven't confirmed yet, but if it is, I know there's so much talk around we should do more racing our way in. These athletes still have to race their way into Worlds. I think we need to remember that. That yes, you have to qualify to get into a major by doing two times. It's not just one. But for example, Dylan Scott, if the qualifying system remains the same, he's going to have auto-qualified anyway. So you're still going to most likely end up with majority of the Elite 15 field that should be there come World Championships. That's just my opinion. To be honest, I probably am getting a little bit sick around the commentary around how it should change.
I agree. Like, first off, Dylan, you assume he won a major. He already has his auto qualifier, so his time really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
The other ones you're looking at is like these guys, Clement and Evan, they beat an Elite 15 World Championship qualifier in this race, right? When they beat Ryland. So that means, like, what are you going to say? Their times don't count? They beat somebody that's already in. So they obviously have shown that they're capable of doing that. And yeah, I think Ryland did blow up. I think he tried to keep with Dylan and he's going to blow up. And I don't think the same thing's going to happen at Worlds, but it shows like Dylan's on a very high level. And I think it shows, that if Ryland's doing a 57:45, anybody else that's around that is just as capable right now of running a good race. And so you can't discount or discredit anybody's times that they still had to go out and do.
Agree.
So, did you review the women? So the women that ran in
I did
New
mention
York?
them, and I mentioned Jake Williamson and Jake Dearden also
So that was
racing in the pro doubles.
So that was very interesting. Jake Williamson and Jake Dearden, they're both on Team England, and they're on separate pro doubles teams. They went and ran a 50:06. I believe that I know that Jake Dearden has gone faster than that in his doubles that he ran with JK by 2 seconds. And Jake Williamson, when he ran with his partner in London, they did exactly 50:06.
You're right.
So, you know, they're showing very strong there, and so that's another thing is like they've ran that time, they match their exact time. So is the course fast or slow? Like, what's capable? All right, and then other races from this weekend. You look at Hyrox Cardiff. That was in a beautiful location. Sorry, you want to go over those?
I'll read out the results. Yeah, so for Hyrox Cardiff, we had on the men's side, Danny Ray came in first with a time of 57:16, Mark Dean 57:42, and then Afan Humphreys. I think a lot of those watching, listening would know his name, 58:19. He came in third. So they had 7 men who went sub 60. So a little bit of an interesting comparison there, I guess, compared to the New York course on the men's side. Moving over to the women's, we had Imogen Amos finishing in 64:59, followed by Rachel Hodgkinson finishing in 66 minutes and 28 seconds, and then Nikki Bramia, 69 minutes and 41 seconds. The Cardiff course looked really cool, I've got to say, Anthony.
Yeah, like on a stadium. I think it looks neat. The only thing I heard about it is that they laid down like plastic tiles for the running instead of on the turf of the course. I just hope that if they go inside a stadium like that, that they either strip up the turf and let them run on concrete, or have a different type of, like, you don't want to be running on like plastic tiles where you could slide. People are sweating. It's not getting absorbed. Like, so I think that hopefully in the future, one of the things they can do is either lay down like that running carpet that they had in Manchester, or the just let them run on the concrete. So like if they're able to remove the turf field and run on the concrete. I know they do that at some other places, so I'm hoping that if they do that again, that's just one of the ways to go about it.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think the stadium looked really cool. And then we had Hyrox Rimini, which we had on the men's side, Richard Hynek finishing in 57:39, sorry, a pretty good time there. Joe Bingham, 60 minutes, 49 seconds. Tommy Valentin, 61 minutes and 36 seconds. Eugenio Bianchi, which some people might know is Bo Will's doubles partner. So he raced a 61 minutes and 39 second time. And then Hugo Hugemark, 62 minutes, 37 seconds. And Hugo is captain of... Which country is he captain of, Anthony? For the relay?
Sweden? One of
Sweden?
the Nordic. Is
yeah.
it? I'm not 100% sure. But like, look at this race. The only person to go sub 60 is Richard Hynek, and Richard Hynek's been on a tear. He's done 3 races in the past like month and a half, and his last 3 times are this 57:39. He did a 55:37 in Berlin, and then a 58:56 before that. So if you look, I think Richard Hynek just put himself in in an Elite 15 position if they use the 2 times again. So that's going to be something coming up that when they show the next 2 times, that's exciting. And I mean, you can't say, yeah, he ran on Berlin and did 55:37, like, what was that, 3 weeks ago, and he's 2 minutes slower here. But look at the other people that ran as well. They're over 60. Like, the guy's on fire.
He definitely is. It'll be interesting once that, if the qualifying system remains the same, once that top 40 list comes out again for the men's and the women's. But I guess moving to the women's side, we had Tanya Stroh-Snyder finishing in 63 minutes and 24 seconds. Now, Tanya, I do know she is potentially, if 2 women, I believe, are to drop out of the Elite 15 for Chicago, she's the second roll down. Margot van der Linden.
Yeah, because she was 6th in Barcelona.
LCQ.
Yeah, so she would be Chris is in. You're looking at Margot van den Linden-Loof, and then Tanya Stroh-Snyder. But she's also, which we'll get into in just a minute, she's part of the age groups right now. So a 63:24 is a great race. And I think that also kind of puts her now with at least 2 good times. So she might be in that Elite 15, the top 15, when they release, if the qualifying system's the same, when they release it for the majors next year.
Yeah, which will be interesting to see. And then we've got Sarah Gandola finishing in 69.22 and Evie Hodgkin 69.49. And then we even had a race in Riga. The men's side, Eric Oscar Bowe finishing in 58.29, followed by Turka Alisi 61.05 and Adam Corlett 62.09. So a lot of Hyrox races on the weekend.
Yeah, there was. And so part of Hyrox Riga, continuing the trend of seeing CrossFit Games athletes come over. Most recently, we saw the previous CrossFit Games champion, James Sprague. He came in Vegas, and he did a 63.04. And we just saw another CrossFit Games athlete, multi-time CrossFit Games athlete, Oldest Upinix. I can't say his name, but he did a 63.52. Continuing the trend, we haven't seen a CrossFit Games athlete come in yet and break 60, but 63.52 is a pretty good time for your first time running.
I definitely think it is. I mean, I'm just trying to think what Ricky Garrard did. I'd have to double check.
He was like 62.
Yeah, so that's probably a fairly consistent time for when a CrossFitter, first kind of enters into the Hyrox scene for their first race.
So Ricky's done 2 races. He's gone 62.21 in Sydney, and he's done 60.42 in Brisbane.
Okay, yeah. So not yet a sub 60.
Nope. But close. And then the women's side from Riga is Alice Jones with a 69.02. I can't say this name. Zintra Grech, 69.21, and Robin Barr, 73.15. So really, really strong races. That 4 races on the weekend, though. Hyrox is growing. They just absolutely keep going. And we know that Worlds is in, I think it's, 8 days from today. And then they don't have a big break. There's only 2 weeks after Worlds is the first race of the new season. And that's going to be Singapore. And then a week after that is Sydney.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, it's quick. It's coming up fast.
It really is, which is awesome. Like, I just love that this is a sport that is competed at all year round.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have an off season, as your fitness doesn't. God, I sound like my brother.
All right. So that was what's in the past, but just wanted to highlight some of the age group athletes coming up with so much Elite 15 potential in some of these age groups. I went through the starting list. Now, unfortunately, the age group starting list, I could only see the 16 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, and 35 to 39 age groups. So I don't think I'll be able to see until tomorrow the 40 to 44, 45 to 49, and the age groups higher than that. So right now we'll just do this, and we'll come back to these other age groups next week. But on the women's side, there are some stacked age groups. And we'll just start with, and these are people that are on the starting list. They might not all be competing. I didn't reach out to them and ask, but their names are there, which means that they at least signed up or accepted an invite at some point.
Yeah.
So on the women's starting list, age 16 to 24, you had Miriam Von Rohr, Kim Evers, and Brooklyn Nichols. So those are 3 strong names that I recognized. There's might be more, but any of these, whether it's whatever age group, winning any of these age groups is a really good sign that, somebody could be set up and to watch out for them for the Elite 15 next year.
Oh, definitely. And you know what I just love, Anthony, is that because the Elite 15 field is obviously becoming, there's only 15 athletes who race within a World Championships race. I can see here a fair few names that, I'm sure we'll get to it in a second, but, Zara Pigiani, for example, a fair few names here who have raced in World Championships before. Like, it's now becoming, because the elite field is so competitive, the age group divisions are now becoming even more competitive than they have been, that you've got these athletes who potentially have just missed out this year on the Elite 15, so they're racing age group. It's just going to make it even more exciting to watch.
Yeah, so looking at this, I starred everybody who has raced in an Elite 15 major this year and is racing in their age group, which means they didn't make it the Elite 15 at Worlds, but they've already raced in a major. I starred those athletes on here, and in the 25 to 29 age group, there's one person. In the 30 to 34 age group, there's three. In the 35 to 39, there's four women. So those are really strong numbers in terms of like you're competing in what is essentially against other Elite 15 athletes. So winning the age group all around, winning your age group independently, both are great feats. So we're looking at the 25 to 29-year-old division now. Just some of the names in there: Jana Liebenstead, Lena Putters, Lucy Davis, Meg Martin, Morgan Schultz, Alice Schur, Athie Faye, Catherine Fossbender, and Georgie Vesley.
Georgie Vesley.
So,
no bias there from me.
Nope. Some really good names there. Like, that's going to be a very strong division age group.
It definitely will. Yeah, that one in particular will, as will the next one you're about to read out, the 30 to 34.
Yeah. So the 30 to 34 age group, these are the people on the start list. The top three women here are people that have already ran an Elite 15 major this year. It's Zara Piergianni, Jade Skillen, Tanya Strohschneider, Yanni Thompson, Gabriella Moriarty, Lauren Rantala, Rebecca Frank, Elena Ruka-Chaz, and Sarah Holden. Those are the names just going through real quickly that I picked up on. So if I didn't mention, there might be more, but if I didn't mention them, those are, I'm sure other people will be competitive.
I'm just looking, like, you've even got a few athletes there, Anthony, who are, for example, they're racing relay. You know, they've been invited or been asked to be the captain. Elena Ruku-Chaz is obviously Peleo's wife, and she's captain of Spain. And, Zara Piergianni, she's been asked to race for England. So, some really good athletes in the mix.
Some of them, exactly. Some of them are in the doubles race, or they're in other Elite 15 races, just not the individual. These are the individuals that I found. And again, these are the people that are listed on the start list. Some of them might not be actually racing. They may pull out for their other Elite 15 races.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're looking at now the 35 to 39-year-old division. The first four women here that I list have raced an Elite 15 major this year. That's Maria Fetchik, Camilla Massa, Jess Toll, Rebecca Nader, Alex Chabot, Sabrina Hahn, Caroline Lieb, Simone Feld, Alondra Greenlee, Katie Simonson, Janelle Teal, and Samantha Faddis.
Yeah, again, another strong age group.
Yeah. And we'll get to like I said, those are the only age groups that I was able to view on the start list right now. But we'll get to the 40 and the 60 plus ones next week. So let's jump down to the men's side. The men's age groups, people to look out for in the 16 to 24, you're looking at Alexander Golick, Sem Taberg, Charlie Botterill, and Cole Walkington. Those are the ones that I noticed, but there probably is more, just that I haven't. It was a quick scan by me, so not a comprehensive list for sure. 25 to 29-year-old division had two men that have raced in the Elite 15 this year, and some people that have just had great races. As you'll see, you're looking at Sean Noble, Colin Steefer, Jake Williamson, Danny Ray, Clement Poid, Kennard, Tanguy Cruz, Ben Sutherland, Hugo Huge, Isaac Sanderson, Roberto Vicendio Jimeneo, Harry Sutherland, Jack Driscoll. So a very strong age group there.
Really strong.
And again, like we said with the men and women, or like we said with the women, several of these people are racing relay and or doubles in the elite division. And then you got the 30 to 34 division. You're looking at Gabe Heck, Cole Learn, Grayson Kilgore, Alan Cow, Alan Plow, Kieran Parkinson, and Harry Thompson.
Yeah, so, wow. Okay.
Really strong divisions there. And actually, I didn't even put the star there, but Harry Thompson should also have a star next to him because he did race in the Vegas Elite 15 major. And then the 35 to 39-year-old division is Grady Jackson, Aaron Woodman, Keith Hardwick, Jarrett Newby, Mark Howe, Al Walkington, and Tony Ravel. So, again, just a really strong division across these. So, winning your age group at Worlds is a huge accomplishment for a lot of these athletes. And it is
massive.
a really big accomplishment.
Yeah, and it's becoming, bigger and bigger, as I was saying before, just because this field is becoming bigger and bigger.
Right. And it's just getting more and more competitive. One thing I did add on here is I added on the mixed doubles, because the pro doubles, we have the Elite 15 doubles, but I wanted to go see, okay, who's racing also the mixed doubles, because that's the only doubles that's not really highlighted, because you have the men and you have the women. So we just want to go through that. So the 16 to 29 age group, and again, not everybody here might be racing, but they're on the start list and they might have, but they still could pull out. So you're looking at the age groups: mixed doubles, 16 to 29, Lucy Proctor and Charlie Botterill, Alexander Rakovich and Morgan Schultz, Seka Arning and Tim Vinish, Sinead Bent and Max Swindells, Miriam Von Rohr and Pascal Manny. Again, like, there's a lot of names right there that we just talked about. Lucy Proctor, Seka Arning, Sinead Bent, all Elite 15 athletes. Tim Vinish, an Elite 15 athlete. So really strong representation of the elite field just in that division alone. The
Just
30
quickly,
to
Anthony, can you recall what day is the mixed doubles? The Saturday or the Sunday? Maybe the Sunday?
I think it's all Saturday.
Yeah, I just find that so interesting from Lucy and Sinead, who are racing Elite 15 solo.
Yeah.
They're also racing, or Sinead's in the relay. They're both racing Elite 15 doubles on the Saturday. Yeah, that's potentially up to 4 races for Sinead.
They might pull out. You don't know. Like, they could be like, hey, I want to focus on my elite races, so maybe they pull out. But the 30 to 39 division. Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read them. We got Viola Oberlander and Peter Schiller. We've got Gabriella Moratti and David O'Toole, Austin Azar and Chris Rogolowski, Grayson Kilgore and Katie Duke. We've got Hugo Huge and Sally Morgan, Colin Stiefer and Tara Jackson, Florian Kowalski. I think I've just butchered that. And Yanni Thompson. We've got Michelle Navora and Jack Bauer, Jay Isaacs and Nicola MacBeth, who we just had on the show, Matthew McLean and Alendra Greenlee, David Magida and Daniela Weber. That's a massive list for the 30 to 39 age group.
Yeah, and again, there's a lot of people on that list who are racing Elite 15 or having other races. So I don't know if Viola is going to race with Peter Schiller or not, but she's also in the Elite 15 doubles with Linda. So a lot of really good athletes right there. So just to go on, this one I could get past the 30 to 39 division. It showed the 40 to 49 division. So you have Tom and Dina Hogan, Tiago Lusa and Marta Quintano, Bethany McChesney and Jeff Fisher, and Tony and Abby Wubecker.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Tom and Dina are probably hot shots in there within that age group.
Yeah, but I mean, Tiago's ran some really fast races. Bethany is extremely fresh. Like, these are great teams here. Like, I think there's going to be some good competition there. And then, again, names I recognize, 50 to 59 division, you're looking at Mark Fricker and Jillian Blake and Gary Rothwell and Debbie Minkoff. So, again, still some great competition in all of these divisions. And I bet you it just keeps on going.
Yeah, definitely will.
So anyway, that is the age groups coming up. Some of the things we just want to talk about. Next week is the day before. Mm-hmm. There will be a live press conference that you guys should tune into for Hyrox, and Bernice and I will talk about it and we'll put something out. But I believe that press conference is going to be at the same time as this live show normally is. So we keep looking for the story. We will either go live before and then you can go over to Hyrox, or we can go live right after, so you guys can pick up after the live show. But that would be more variable because we don't know what time it ends. So we might be looking at before. It'll just be a little pre-show. And if we are able to get Bernice into the live press conference, and you guys want to ask questions at the live press conference and we tune in before, maybe we could be like, write your questions in. We'll see if Bernice gets a chance to ask them.
We'll see if I'm allowed. Matt Locke, if you're listening, let me in. No, I will be on the ground there either way, whether it's at the press conference or I'm keen to just even have a little look at the arena, I guess, Anthony. So, and then I will see you on Thursday in Chicago.
That's right. I'm very excited, guys. Thank you for joining us. This has been a ton of fun and an hour and 40 minutes today. And I really appreciate our guests coming on. Hope they had fun. And the guys won, but you know what? We'll figure out a prize and a consolation prize, and we'll get it to them when we see them in Chicago.
Let's figure that one out. Thanks, Anthony.
All right. Thank you.